Hi, howdy, how there? Peglin, again. We're doing more of this. I don't want to do a Crucible today. Let's do a different character. The other characters are kind of fun sometimes. I'm having salted licorice Mentos right now. I had a salted caramel milkshake earlier today. It was very good. Ah. They're really good. Salted licorice is really good. I like it. I don't care if you disagree. You just have no taste. These are great. My sister wants to watch a movie, so I'm gonna be probably rushing through this video a little bit. Get axed, bro. I'm sorry, I'm being quiet. Yeah, I'm having a good day. I had a lunch at a seafood place, a local seafood place. It was fucking great. I had a fried calamari burger. It was delicious. I felt sick, full, so full I felt sick by the end. It was a lovely time, lovely time. And you know, I've I've been having a great day. Also, an update on the art classes. Apparently, that's getting going. The art classes, maybe I'll be taking classes for once. And if it works out, if I like it, I'll keep doing that. So you can look forward to the art in Games Art Fantasy Boy being slightly more, not prominent. It's already pretty prominent as it is. I post it every day. But Uh, I should stop watching stuff. For a couple videos, I did not watch anything while I was playing, and I remembered to actually do it. I managed to talk the whole time. You know, I just don't like being alone with my own thoughts that much. Yeah. Mentos. Mm. Mm. Oh. Mm. Mm. Anyways, how are you doing? Everybody at home? I wonder often what your mental state is when you're watching these videos. What do you, what are you doing with your life right now? Mm. Excellent. Ooh, another one of these. Mm. What's this? I haven't gotten one of these before. Or I have, but I've forgotten. That's good. It's actually really good. Mm. Mm. Alright, time for you to die, big boy. I'm sorry if I don't talk enough during these videos. Again, sometimes I'm just distracted. I know I don't always have to make a video every day, but I kind of feel like I do. Yeah. Whee. Um, that's good, but I'm getting a lot of dodge going on right now. I've never really done anything with Bullusion. Bulvasion? I've never actually read the word. Can I read it? Bollusion. It is bollusion. I don't have a lot of damage. Upgrade an orb, I think. Nice. Could I go to a shop or nah? I don't really have enough money for that right now. Yep. Whee! Whee! This is about to be fun, yay! Ooh! Yeah! Move around more, run away. We're running away. Whee! Special artifact, yay! Whee! Ah, yes. I'm very glad that one of the first effects I got on it was transparency. That is going to make this so much easier once I'm done with the actual big thing itself. Whee! Projectile balls. You could make a lot of jokes about balls playing this game. It's a miracle I don't make as many as I could. Yes! Dead. Holy, what is that number? Oh no. I need to move this. I almost never do that in this game, actually. It's one of the reasons I keep fucking dying. And buy another full level one of these. All orbs get persist. That might actually be pretty good. Whee! I'm not doing anything with you. Whee! What do I say? This isn't going very well, all of a sudden. Whee. Good luck hitting me, bitch. This is actually pretty awesome, not being able to get hit, like, half the time. Yeah. Whee. Yay. 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 I'm getting kind of bored. I'm not gonna lie. I'm not sure what I'm supposed to be doing. Yeah. I do want more crits. Yeah. Yeah. You just missed. Oh yeah, that's right. I applied debuffs. We're doing a lot of good stuff going on. Yeah. 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 Hmm. More Borbid. More Borbilibid. It's a good projectile. I don't need to do this. Ugh. Yeah. Wee. Hmm. Hip. Hip ha. Hip ha. I need piercing. I don't have piercing right now. That's not good. Hit. What do I talk about? What do I talk about? Why do I keep getting finance ads? Oh, why not? I can talk about this. What the fuck does YouTube think I do for a living? Because I'll tell you what I do for a living. Nothing. I'm unemployed. I make YouTube videos, but I don't get paid for them. But I get so much like stock trading ads for no reason. It's weird. They're like, you need a broker. You need to use AI, of all things, to trade stocks, which sounds like a bad idea, for one. And two, uh... Uh, come on, why did this refresh have to be behind? This is the problem with that really nice persistence buff for your pegs. They're great until they're not. Oh no, I'm doing pretty poorly. Hit. Oh, right. That took way too long. Oh no. It is kind of long. Shit. I would rather have upgraded pebbles, I guess. We. Sometimes, when I don't have anything to talk about, I just don't talk. Yeah. Mm. Well, because I have nothing to talk about today, um, you're all just gonna have to watch my peglin gameplay. I should do a peggle video. It's not an expensive game. It's like $50 in South African rand. It's like less than $3. I think it's actually just under $3. Yeah. So I could just get that and do this near the end of the month. I make these for fun mostly, but you know it would be nice if these were good. And sometimes they are. Sometimes I do actually keep up conversation in relatively interesting ways, and other times I'm just like this. I just don't know what to say, so I don't say anything. And that's not entertaining. That's not what you're here for. You're here for me, my dumbass. My incredibly bad takes, or mediocre takes. I wouldn't call a lot of my takes bad, just sort of average. I don't really fill particular niches to a degree where I say anything too crazy or interesting, but I am here to entertain you some way. Saying stuff. That is why I make these. Yep. And it's a little bit meh sometimes. It's just how it goes. But I make them every day. I could write scripts, but that doesn't really work for the Let's Play videos where I just say whatever I want and sometimes comment on the game. There's not a lot to comment about for Peglin, for me, because I almost never know what I'm actually going to be doing, what I actually want to do. It just doesn't happen. When drawn, if your orb's base damage is greater than its crit damage, the board will contain one less. Okay, that just doesn't happen, so overall that's pretty good. That's just good. That's just a great item. This is the first time things are actually coming up kind of concisely for me, which is nice. That's really good. That's just good. Why would I ever complain about that? Right there. Ugh. I'm really going in with the crits right now. And you know what? I've never really done that much all that well before. Oh, my nose. One of these days I'll make something more interesting. You know, something I really want to make for the sake of making it. The YouTube videos I just make because they're kind of fun to do. You know? It's just nice to sit down and talk about whatever I want to talk about. Sometimes that involves venting. And, you know, do it while playing games that I think are really good and fun and awesome. I should get back on Rock of Ages 3. That's a fun game. It's just so much to do. The problem with this map is it just completely ruins the usage of my balls. It's hard to be funny while making these. It's definitely hard to be, you know, super interested the whole time. It's not just about being interesting, it's about being interested in what you're doing, which isn't always the case, you know? Just doing anything. Don't get me wrong, I think it's fun, it's just I can't maintain the same level of energy the whole time unless I'm, like, trying to do that, which is not what I'm trying to do. I'm just trying to play the game. And maybe people like it. But I'm not very good at talking to myself. Really bad at talking to myself, actually. And, so these don't often turn out that interesting in terms of what I'm saying. But sometimes I do have something to say. You know, you gotta understand my brain just sometimes shoots in a billion different directions, and I'm like, I can't just say that. That would completely derail nothing, but, you know, feels like it would be a derailment of some kind, even though I'm aware that technically there's nothing to derail. And that's just kind of how the train of thought runs, isn't it? Sometimes you just want to say something. It's been so long since I've had just a normal extended conversation with like a single individual, to where I've kind of forgotten that's how conversations work. Like, I do it with people I know, but oftentimes we like default to certain topics, and there's something to say, like, regarding the situation, to where it doesn't feel like it's out of left field. But realistically, the way a conversation works does involve just something coming to mind and being like, hey, what do you think about that? But unlike a conversation where there's someone to, you know, talk to about something, and so they can give their opinions, you can give yours. Um, Recording is just sitting here in an empty room that is getting kind of dark now, and talking to myself. I had no rhythm there. There was no rhythm. That was an impromptu action that I did not think through. Thus, it did not have what it needed to be interesting or good in what it was trying to be. But it didn't have to be good because realistically it was just something I was doing. I'm completely alone pretty much when I make any of these. There's no one around most of the time. It's just me at my desk playing a video game, talking to no one, and that's that. I could say whatever I want. I could talk about whatever I want, but I very much so don't feel like I have much to say on anything too complicated. And that's because I don't really. It's been a very long time since I've like taken notes. I've never taken notes really on anything I do, like media analysis. I like sort of vaguely analyzing something on my own in my own space, but I don't like watch through it while I do that. I just sort of break it down, my feelings on it after the fact, and probably not even all that well. I like to think I have decent media literacy, but I've admittedly I struggle to break down things in a complicated manner, partially because I've never tried to do that while observing something, but I'm also not sure if I could do that. I have feelings about movies, don't get me wrong, and TV shows and books, but sometimes the sort of messaging feels like it eludes me, and I'm not sure if that's the case, really. I'm not sure entirely if it's just because, I don't think about my thoughts that often, but, that's how it goes. It's one of the reasons I would never feel like writing fan fiction. Even though I do like writing, I'm just like, I feel like I'm too straightforward about it. So I don't post anything, partially because, I'm a bit ashamed of it all. Like, I understand the idea, but the whole point of, like, telling a deeper theme just sort of, I'm not confident in my ability to do that at all. Because I'm not entirely sure how that whole, like, concept works. I've seen a million people talk about media analysis, but I've never actually understood. I've understood the conclusions they've drawn, and I've thought, yeah, that makes sense, but I've never really gotten the process all that well. That's bad on me, I haven't read as much recently as I should. I've got, like, things that people tell me to read all the time. And I've got things that I know I like, that I kind of do want to read through, like Lord of the Rings. I loved The Hobbit and the first Lord of the Rings book were really good. I have to reread Fellowship of the Ring, though. It was great. I loved it, but, well, the one that eventually got adapted into the movie, I'm not actually sure if the books are titled like that. We have them in the form of, like, one big, chunky book. And it's good. It's really that good. But I haven't gone back to it because they use a lot of words I don't know, and that intimidates me. I don't know a lot of things I should know, probably, at my age. And that also sort of makes me feel weird. But I've also been told I know things that I should know just fine and I shouldn't worry about it. I don't know. I have no frame of reference. Because I know how to read. Like, I am technically literate to my age level, I like to think. Though, again, I have no basis for this, because I haven't been in an actual school for years. That's just what happens with, that's just what happened with COVID-19, man. But you can't blame all your problems on COVID, can you? No, to a certain extent, you just have to wonder if... I know I'm not stupid, I just... Sometimes I don't know. And I just have to take the words for people around me in my family that I'm not stupid. Which doesn't really feel like enough a lot of the time. And I want to know for sure, but, you know, there's no way for me to know. And that's very frustrating. Because it means that there's no resolution. There's no conclusion to my thoughts and my feelings on these things. So I'm just left to sit here like, what the fuck? Am I dumb? Do I not know these things? Do I need to learn these things better? And then the question of how do I learn these things? Because it's like, you need to learn media literacy. Okay, how? Read books. Okay. And I feel like I've read a lot of books in my time, and am I literate? Do I understand deeper themes, and I just don't really articulate that often because I don't feel the need to, because I'm just satisfied? Because, or do I need it to be too heavy-handed? I don't know these things, and no one can really explain them to me. So, yeah. One of the most recent books I did read was Percy Jackson. Which one? One that is relatively new, and Percy Jackson and the Chalice of the Gods. It was great. I loved the Percy Jackson books and the Heroes of Olympus books. It's pretty great. I'm not sure if all of my opinions about the themes of those books are just things I've heard parroted because I've heard them, or not, though. And I can't really decide if I've had an original thought on it, and that really does concern me. Like, to me, you know, Percy Jackson and the Chalice of the Gods, I couldn't really tell you what it was about offhandedly, you know? Well, I can tell you the plot. I can tell you the plot easily enough. I'm not going to. Go read it. It was good. I liked it. I thought it was cool. You know, a part of it was definitely, you know, about growing older, about the passage of time, how people react to it, you know. It's discussed and demonstrated through the plot. It's deeply intertwined with the plot, but I don't know if there's more to it than that, if I'm reading into it on a very surface level, you know. I can also tell you there's just moments, like any Percy Jackson book, there's a lot of good moments to display how good of friends everyone is, and how they've got each other, and that's just great. That's just really sweet. And I'm not sure how deep it goes, because that's one book that I have never seen anyone discuss, partially because it's much newer, you know, a lot newer than the other ones. I'm thinking about it now. I'm thinking about what could just be defined as a single instance of something, as opposed to a theme. You know, there's, like, bits of characters, but not necessarily, like... I'm trying to tiptoe around spoilers, because, again, I want you to read it, and you should. But I think the overall does come around to growing older is what it's generally about, and how that goes for you is kind of shaped by how you react to it, how you feel. Is defined by, accepting the passage of time and that not everything's you're not always gonna be around in the same way that you always were. More than that, it's, just about, I wouldn't say it's about the passage of time in general. Well, it kind of is. Kind of like things change. But that's, like, only kind of mentioned sometimes. It's not really about change that much. Growing old, like, specifically, seems to be what it's more to. But that's a very surface level thought. Accepting aging is just sort of an off-the-cuff, simple way of looking at things. And there are kids' books, but, kids' books can be pretty deep. The Hobbit has, like, a bunch of stuff that I never picked up on that people kept talking about. To me, it was really just a great adventure. I never thought about it too much in the context of, deeper themes. Enough to where I'm not certain if I tried to pick it apart again myself, because it's been a while since I've read The Hobbit, what it's about. And, sort of frustrating to not know. Like, I know what happens in it. I know the progression of events. And it's cool. Don't get me wrong. It's fun. In a lot of ways that I really do love. It's a great fantasy overall, but, sort of something that worries me is not knowing if I actually know anything. But, I'm just gonna, after I'm done here, go look for reassurance. This video is getting really long, like super bloated. Because that's how these runs go, and I don't cut this stuff down that much. And I've just so happened to pick artifacts that make this take even longer because I don't actually do that much damage. And hitting with pebbles doesn't actually do anything right now because of all the enemies and the fact that I haven't gotten a single bit of piercing this entire time. Man, if I had some piercing, that's how half these runs go. It's just like, oh god, if I had some piercing, my problems would be solved. But nay, I never get it. It's never mine. Alright, nice. This is exactly the kind of item I needed. The kind of orb I needed. Yeah, but back to the other conversation, because that was actually kind of interesting. It's so troubling that I really don't want to not have media literacy, but I don't know if I do. Like, Animal Farm was a movie I watched recently, and I know it's a movie, not a book, but I'm not sure, having watched it, I picked up on the things as they went along, about disparity of education causing problems, about how it's not necessarily about communism as a whole, but more so about being taken advantage of. buy a system that seeks to benefit exclusively its highest... I'm forgetting the words I need. It's not an aristocracy. An aristocracy is kind of different. But, you know, to suit its to suit its highest echelon of society, and by doing so, disparage and devastate the people who are forced to actually make that country or that group function. There's also a nice detail in the film that I thought was really nice. When they first start trading with the outside world, they don't actually buy anything useful. Like, you'll notice, they just trade for luxury goods. It's jam. It's jam in the movie, but I thought that was a very nice detail. It was a good example of how corrupt officials work, how they don't really care about you, and they just want, you know, what they want, which runs on their whims. It's just whatever they feel like they need that they don't actually need. None of it's needs. And I'm not sure if my opinions are derived purely from what I've heard people say, and, you know, retroactively comprehending that, or if I actually have formed a full original thought around those ideas. It's hard to tell, because I know what I think now about a lot of stories. Except, you know, certain things. And it's been so long since I've, you know, engaged with media at all, really. And, one of the worst things for me is I've never felt like I would know what a character would do just through reading about them. And I'm not sure if I just say that because I don't oftentimes think about it, or if I genuinely wouldn't be able to comprehend that. Oh, this stage is annoying. It's one of the reasons why I don't, like, engage with some things. It's one of the reasons I don't really play what are described as storytelling masterpieces. Because I just feel like, you know, if I don't get it, if I don't pick up on it, I'll just prove to myself that I'm a bit of a dumbass who doesn't know anything. And I mean, like, at the end of the day, I know that I can still enjoy something without necessarily needing to understand its deeper parts, right? But at the same time, it's sort of, you know, concern of mine regardless, that if I don't pick up on it, then I've never really truly enjoyed it, and hearing other people talk about it doesn't really derive the same feeling, you know? This video's getting, like, really long, I think. Yeah, it's almost an hour long, Jesus. Usually I'd have died at this point. But this run is, like, it's so weird because it's taking so long to actually get anything done, but I also can't really die. Should I just, like, skip to the end? I kind of am tired of talking and tired of recording and playing right now. It doesn't help that it's getting dark. And I kind of want this to be over, but I'm also not done yet. Should I just throw the run and, like, call it, or what do I do? I mean, I can. Yeah, over. There. Sorry if you didn't get to see the end of the run, you know. But the gameplay never really took center stage there when I was actually talking. Anyways, I'm gonna go do what, you know, I probably shouldn't do because it's weird. I'm gonna wait for my mom and ask her for insurance. Because that's the only real anchor I have to actually knowing if I know anything in my life. So yeah. I did have fun though, for the time that I was having fun. So have a good one.